One of the biggest mistakes that I see people that are just getting into short-term rentals make, and really there's two. The first one is they launch their listing, and typically most people go to AirBNB first nowadays. They launch their listing before it's completely done. So I would highly recommend that you get into the Build Short-Term Rental Wealth Facebook group, search my name, do some research, make sure that you have every box checked. As an example, just about 2-3 weeks ago, AirBNB just released 20 additional amenities. And if you don't have all the amenities checked that are actually inside of your property, you're not going to show up in all the search. So you got to get your titles right. You need to get your description right. Most people don't invest into professional photos. They literally just go take cell phone photos. They don't have great lighting and your photos suck. If your photos suck, your property is not going to render well. So all that comes into really optimizing your listing right off the bat. And I would have somebody that knows what they're doing take a look at your listing, post it into a Facebook group, pay somebody to look at your listing and optimize it using keywords, making sure that your descriptions are optimized. You need to have text under every single image. You need to have well-lit professional images. And most importantly, your title to the first paragraph in your description to your images, especially those first 5 or 6 images, all need to sync up together to where they tell that story. The other component about your listing is most people just really go in and they focus on, you know, I got a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, look at my kitchen, all that type of stuff, and they forget about everything that surrounds your property. They forget about why people are coming there. So really make sure you pay attention and you study and you learn and you understand how to get your listing right before you deploy it. The second thing is your pricing. I can't tell you how many people launch their listing, doesn't matter what platform it's on, and then they come back into my Facebook group or they tag me on my Facebook page and they say, oh my gosh, what do I do with this reservation? I didn't set my summer pricing. I didn't set Thanksgiving. I didn't set Shrimp Fest or ski season or whatever it is. And literally somebody just booked like Memorial Day or the 4th of July at $200 a night. It should be $500. What do I do? Well, you can cancel it once, but then understand that if you don't have a really good reason, that Airbnb specifically is going to block out your date, so you're never going to get that revenue back. So you need to keep that reservation and you're going to eat, you know, the profit that you're losing because you did not optimize your pricing. It's just natural human inhibition that we as human beings don't really assess our value very well. All of us underprice our value. Doesn't matter if we're selling short-term rentals or, you know, marketing services or vacuums or whatever it is. If we have to set the pricing, we typically undervalue that. So I stand by a rule of thumb. Hopefully before you list your property, and I don't care if you're leasing or, you know, own it or whatever it is, just make sure you've done some AirDNA or used PriceLabs to do some pricing research, and then raise your prices by 25%. I know this may seem completely counterintuitive to you and it may seem crazy, but the last thing that you want to do is underprice your property right when you're starting, because you're not freaking average. And all of those revenue management tools, even AirDNA, they're going to show, they're taking all that data off of average posts. And if you really have watched all these videos on my YouTube channel, if you're in my Facebook group, you're not going to be in that 50th percentile on AirDNA. You're going to be in that 85th, 90th, 95th percentile. I consider myself in the 110 to 125th percentile as you go in and you segment, because that's what my revenue shows that I'm able to do from a value proposition standpoint when I drive value for my host to be able to charge more. And if I charge more, then I escalate my percentage. So that's what I'm referring to when I talk about that. So if you look at AirDNA and you look at that 50th, that 60th percentile, you need to do the things that are going to get you into that 80th or 90th percentile. So if you look at the competitors, your apartment, your townhomes, your houses, your condos that are in that 50 to 60th percentile, look at the things that you don't like from a guest perspective. How good or bad are their photos? Do they have professional photos? How well staged, you know, is their house? What do you see on the dining room table and the coffee table? Do you see plates and chargers and napkins on a dining room table, whether it's a little square 4-top or it seats 10 people? Is there a Doble, you know, with greenery and stuff in it? Do you have a bottle of wine and wine glasses set out on the kitchen counter? What do you see and what makes it more attractive? So I'm going to really, you look at your pricing, raise your pricing. That's mistake number 1. Number 2 is people deploy their listings before they're ready. I'm going to leave you with one bonus tip. If you don't watch HDTV, you need to start, because almost all of us, should be watching HDTV. Flip or Flop, Love It or List It, Property Brothers, Vacation House Rules, all these things that are doing flips, renovations. There's a couple of great short-term rental, series on Netflix. Watch what the finished product looks like. You don't even need to watch the entire show. I've had enough of the Flip or Flop, couple, but I'll go and turn it on, Netflix, Discovery Plus, whatever, and I just want to go to the last 5 minutes and look at what the first 2 or 3 minutes looks like, and look at what the last 2 or 3 minutes looks like. Look at how they have the house staged. Look at the primary, the secondary, the tertiary colors. Look at those chargers and plates and napkins. Look at how clean it is with lack of clutter. How everything kind of ties together. To throw pillows. A lot of people don't really consider how their pillows look in the staging on their sofas and on their couches, or having a throw blanket. They don't take pictures and have their cleaners follow the process of staging their beds. They don't have multiple sets of pillows. All of these things are what increase your ADR, give you the ability to charge more. Those are the things you need to consider before you turn your listing on and before you set your pricing. So make sure that you pay attention to the last 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and watch multiples of those shows if you don't. And if you do, you really know exactly what I'm talking about. The question is, are you implementing that way? Most importantly, if you found this valuable, make sure to hit that subscribe button.